We'll literally show you the career that you've been dying, itching, wanting to see.
It's time to experience the nooks and crannies of Koreas with your own 2 feet on
K-Patch
with Cedric.
It's a Monday, a pretty miserable Monday, but Cedric's here to brighten up our morning by taking his camera on a certain topic that we've dispatched him for, K-Patch. Good morning, Cedric.
Good morning, King Peter.
We've got lots of love coming in V-Live as you were coming in the studio.
Very cool.
Obviously, a lot is for you, but I think most is for BTS.
Yeah.
Us playing this song, I
Sure.
Need You. But I need you as well, because Shiny Forever has asked us on V-Live, what's the weather like in Korea? And you've just come into the studio. You were out and about traveling here. What is it like, weatherman Cedric?
So it's definitely gloomy. I could tell it's gonna rain today, which is in the forecast.
You can feel it, right?
I could feel it. It's a little cool, so it feels nice in a sense.
Okay, it's not too warm out there.
It's not too warm.
Yesterday was quite warm outside.
Yeah. Yesterday got pretty warm.
Yeah, so rain is on the cards. I was just in the toilet during the hour break, and usually you can see Namsan and Seoul Tower that we talked about a couple of weeks back from the 8th floor, but you can't see it at all. Like, there's so much dust in the air as well.
Yeah, it's starting to make a comeback this season now.
Yeah, I hope it's just temporary. The rain washes it out. There's your weather forecast, Shiny Forever. Hope you're satisfied with that. Have you had a good week since we last saw you, Cedric? What you been up to?
Yeah, a good week. I actually had a little fun modeling shoot that I stumbled across as a model.
Nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
so
Not on the other side of the camera.
No. It was funny how it happened because I got connected to someone who needed a model through a mutual contact, and that mutual contact sort of pitched me as a model instead of photographer.
Okay.
So I actually thought initially when I was talking to this gentleman that it was going to be me as a photographer, but it turns out he was looking at my Instagram. I was like, no, we want you as a model.
That's brilliant.
So I did that on, I think it was Friday. It was very fun.
What were you modeling?
So it was like athletic wear for a brand here.
That would be really well suited to you, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, it's that's a little bit more comfortable for me versus maybe doing like runway modeling or something like that. You know?
I can imagine you in a lovely flowing dress as well. I'm sure you'd look brilliant.
Thank you.
We've got the hashtag today, ingredient or jerio. We were just talking about certain English expressions maybe more common in the South where you grew up, Cedric. What about ingredients? Are there certain ingredients that are more common in like Southern US cuisine?
Ingredients.
Why do I think of like, is it called jambalaya?
Jambalaya,
Is
yeah.
that a thing?
So
Is
that's
that a Southern
more,
thing?
I mean that's kind of Southern. That's like, what is it? Not St. Louis. Oh my goodness, my fellow
Your
Americans
American
are gonna,
geography again, Cedric.
It's
I'm starting
horrible.
to doubt you've ever
New
been
Orleans,
to
New Orleans. That's what
Okay.
it is. That's what
There
it
we
is.
go.
New Orleans. St. Louis. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but I mean, like we have like collard greens.
I've heard that term a lot.
Actually, I think I mentioned that last year on the show. I think that's probably one of the.
I've totally forgotten what they are. There's some kind of like
It's like
vegetable.
greens. Yeah, it's just we call them greens as well. So they're
Okay.
just it's kind of like lettuce that you can boil, but it's not lettuce.
Okay. And how do you usually have that?
So you boil it in some water and you put some spices in it, and it just tastes really good. I see that you pulled it up. Yeah, and you could put like little pork pieces in there too.
It looks a bit
beautiful.
thick, like the leaves themselves.
Yeah, they're pretty thick before you actually cook them.
And then they go down quite easily.
Yeah.
They taste good with all the sauces
Tastes
and
pretty
whatnot.
good.
Apparently, some vinegar goes in there, maybe some chicken broth as well. Oh, it looks quite nice if it's cooked like that. That might be a good way to get kids into vegetables. Perhaps, right?
Yeah. It's definitely a uniquely Southern dish, though.
Fantastic. We got a post from Jew on Cacao Plus as well, saying from Brazil, the ingredient I want to talk about is manioc flour, MANIOC. It's indispensable for many dishes. I've never heard of that. Apparently, cassava is another name it goes by, and it's the flour from cassava. Wow. Well, that looked delicious.
It looks really good. That actually almost looks like collard greens right there.
Yeah, on the dish, right? Thank you for the photo, Jew. Today's topic, Cedric, going completely away from the kitchen, I suppose.
Yes. We are talking about the Korean bank.
The Korean bank.
Yeah, banking in Korea.
You've been here, what, nearly 2 years?
A little over 2 years now.
Okie dokie. How was banking for you when you first came?
It was very difficult to get used to be honest. My I would say, first 2 months, as far as like setting it up and learning how to use the online banking.
Okay.
It was a big difference from the States.
Oh, okay.
And what I was used to. But, I slowly got used to it.
Yeah.
And so now it's pretty easy.
Okay.
I think once you get the hang of it and you sort of do your few things, your few transactions, then it's quite easy.
Yeah, and these days there are a lot of services in English, especially on the online side, right? So
Right.
even if your Korean is not up to scratch, and to be honest, financial lingo is probably one of the most difficult things to get into.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, the thing is with me, I would say the most difficult thing that I've had to do in Korea was open up a bank account by myself.
Yeah, if you don't have any assistance when you first come, it can be a bit daunting. So I took this Nuna that I knew, an older girl who's a friend of mine, and she came to the bank with me and taught me through every step, because this was 2008. And yeah, at that time, I was really nervous about doing banking by myself. And there weren't that many English-speaking tellers at that time either. I think nowadays, usually a branch will maybe have one.
Right. I haven't come across one yet.
Yeah, it might be tricky as well. You're probably
Yeah.
right. I'm painting too optimistic a picture there.
No,
In the
it's just my
international
luck.
regions, maybe,
Sure,
areas
sure.
of Seoul, maybe Itaewon, places like that, right?
Definitely.
What's our first video going to show us today,
So,
then, Cedric?
I wanted to show you guys inside the branch, but unfortunately, that's very difficult to film. So I'm going to show
okay.
you guys how to use the Korean ATM.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's watch. One of the bigger banks here.
Literally like Citizens Bank, 국민, right?
Right.
I am a customer, I must say.
All right, guys, I'm going to show you how easy it is to use the ATM here in Korea. As you can see, you're greeted with a bunch of menu options in Korean, but you can choose another language. And for
Oh,
me,
they've got a
I'm gonna
lot of
choose
languages.
English, got like every language. Domestic English because I'm pulling money out of my Korean bank account.
So if you're
English.
a traveler,
The options
you
have
do
are
the
to
other one.
withdraw
Foreign
money.
English,
right. You can deposit money. You can transfer money from one account to another. You can inquire about your balance to see how much money you have or don't have. So today we're just going to withdraw some money. I'm going to click that. Now I'm going to have to insert my card right here into the card reader. That is another bank card, by the way. Long story, but
Okay.
it's reading. It all works the same. Now
Yeah, you
I
don't
get to
need to
select
use
the
that
amount.
bank's card,
If I
right?
wanted to do a specific amount, I can hit other. Let's just say I want to do 60,000 won.
Oh, if you just push
I hit
6,
that,
it comes
hit
up with
OK.
60.
Right, because it does it
And I
in
wanna take out
10,000
cash.
increments.
So I'm going to
on
choose
one
how many
increments.
50,000 won bills that I want.
So that was confusing in the beginning for
I
me.
want one. Oops.
See, I made a mistake there.
Okay. Okay, and this is going to be the confirmation page. That's the right amount. I'm going to hit OK. Now I have to enter my PIN.
Let's check out. Oh, no. Well done,
Almost got
Cedric.
away with
Okay,
it.
counting the bills. At these ATMs, you got to make sure you pull out your card and receipt first.
That's
before
very
it will
key.
dispense your money, which is
security
great. That
there.
way, you'll never forget your card. In
It's
an
a good
ATM.
system, because in the UK,
that
you
is how
can
you
forget your
use the
card.
ATM.
Yeah. And that, I think in the States, more ATMs now probably do that. But I remember years ago, the cash would come out first on
Yeah.
the ATMs that I would use.
Yeah,
And you
and-
can forget your card.
Often when I
Yeah.
was like a teenager, because the first time I got a bank account with a card was maybe like 14, 15. And you're not responsible then, and you just leave it sticking out there. The other thing with the UK ATMs that I recall, especially just before I came to Korea, there's lots of fraud. Like people would stick card readers on top of the card readers.
In the US as well, yeah.
Yeah, and here in Korea, there is a warning now saying just check that the card reader looks like this, and it will show you a photo on screen of what it should look like. I've not come across any card fraud, but it maybe could exist to
Right.
a lesser extent here, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so the ATM, as you can see, is pretty easy, mainly because they do have different language options. So if you
that
ever
was
come
in
to
Korean,
visit,
that would be confusing.
yeah,
right?
I've never actually done it in Korean, but I should start doing that just to get used to the different lingo.
Yeah, I haven't used the language option on the ATM. I
So you
didn't
go
actually
Korean?
know it was on there.
Really?
Yeah. So I only know the basic things. I never do complicated things on the ATM. I think there are maybe more options if you just stick with Korean as well. Like the number of buttons seemed a bit bit more if it was just Korean.
So foreigners are getting robbed of options. I see.
But all the things you need to do on a daily basis, like make a transfer, pay in some money, stuff like that, are available.
Yeah.
The thing that, you're right, it is a bit confusing, is when it asks you how many 50,000 won bills you want. Some machines, I think you type in the amount, like the total amounts, like 201,000 won's worth, and then some ask you just the number of the notes.
Right. Yeah. So you got to be careful with that and just make sure you double check because you don't want to get out too much.
Yeah.
You know?
Of course. And it's just asking because that's the highest denomination. Some people want more of that, so their wallet is thinner, but some people need the change, like 10,000 won notes. I don't think you can get ATMs that dispense less than 10,000 won, like 5,000 or 1,000 won notes.
I haven't seen.
Yeah, it's like in the UK as well. I guess no ATMs dispense coins, right?
Right.
We had Yana saying that, it's pretty easy to use the ATMs in Korea, but it does also depend if you're a traveler on your own country's bank. Some ATMs can work and some don't work. If you are traveling here, you need to check with your card provider, I think, right?
Right. And one thing to note is if you're using a foreign card, because I still have several different U.S. bank accounts, and I'll sometimes withdraw money from those accounts, there is a fee associated with foreign cards.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think that'll depend on the bank here in Korea that you use or the ATM, and also the time of day matters as well.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed, like, certain times of days, the fee is actually a little higher.
Oh, really?
Which is
If
interesting.
it's maybe outside business hours
Maybe,
or something.
yeah.
And I know that certain accounts you'll have to pay a service charge if it's not your bank's ATM you are using. But I've also found if you're like a VIP customer of your bank, like you deposit a certain amount of money, then you will get that waived in certain cases as well.
So are you a VIP, Peter?
I have 2 kids, so I spend a lot of money on them. So luckily, that's one of the perks. But
Very nice.
The fee isn't large. I think it's up to maybe 1,000 won or so, right? And just like in the UK, they sometimes have ATMs in the Pyeongjam convenience store. And I think those do have just a blanket service charge of about 1,200 won, something like that. Send us in your messages of banking in your country. This is for a request for one of our listeners who I believe is finding this very useful, Cedric. So thanks for coming in with this. Kev has asked for 21's Fire because it's the 11th anniversary of their debut this past weekend. And we just saw the news being flashed up that Blackpink are coming back in a couple of months' time. Their full album out in September, I believe. Let's listen to 21 though. Fire. Me and Cedric enjoying that flashback to better days or our heyday of listening to K-pop.
Absolutely.
Perhaps. Yeah, great stuff from 21. Wish they do something for their anniversary, like all got back together, or that would be nice. Lots of messages coming in for banking. It seems like it's a topic that inspires a lot of queries. Mozgi Mozg on VLive says, which cards does the bank accept and in which banks? I think most banks accept most cards. Like Korean banks all accept each other's cards. I'm pretty sure about that. And then internationally, as one of the listeners said earlier, it depends on your bank, like what tie-ups they have. And if it's one of the big ones like the Visa or the Master C, those kind of ones, then they should work most places, I'd say.
Right. Unita says, I remember taking money at the ATM at the airport, and it's easy to take out the money. I don't know why some ATMs outside the airport mostly didn't work for her.
Oh, I guess airport ATMs would be the most compatible because that's where the most travelers are going. They
most
probably bear
international
that in mind.
friendly, likely.
Yeah, and they used to have a few banks here that were global. I know HSBC used to be in Korea, and then I think they still have the one that resembles a city. The spelling is a bit different.
Yes.
And I think you can use maybe foreign bank accounts linked to your account, but for the most part, it's domestic banks here, right? Raul also says, here the ATM will ask you often, do you want another transaction? If you say no, then the card will be expelled. Yeah, I think I don't know if your video showed it, but in Korean, usually that's the last question, like, do you want to do something else? And if you click no, then your card comes out.
Wow, that must be for the Korean option because in English, I was just thinking the ATMs here don't do that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
really?
you have to, like, if you want to do 2 or 3 transactions, then you have to put in your card again and just start all over.
It's a carrot on a stick to learn Korean.
Yeah,
it's a
that's
secret
true.
life hack. There you go.
Awesome. Cherie said, I just had to help my son open his first bank account yesterday, actually. He just got a job at Mickey.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
needed to cash his paycheck.
Oh,
Just wanted to make sure I
fantastic.
didn't say the whole name.
That's good for your son as
Yeah,
well.
that's
Good
awesome.
luck
That's
to
exciting
him.
for him.
I used to have a friend who used to work there, and he'd give us like a free burger whenever we ordered a meal. I'm sure it was
Nice.
highly illegal, but anyway. Sana says, oh, it didn't ask you for your PIN code at the beginning once you put your card in. Yeah, it is different in the UK. You're right. It's PIN code first, but here you'll get to like say how much money you want, and then it asks for your PIN code, right?
Yeah. It's sort of like in the middle of the transaction. I remember first thinking when I first started using the ATMs, I'm like, oh, I can get away without using a PIN. I could
Yeah.
like take someone else's card. Not that I ever would.
Of course not. But yeah, if you fail to put in your PIN code, obviously it'll cancel their transaction. And you can't get to any details of
No.
your bank account. But it is a bit weird. Like, you'll do all that work, and then if you've forgotten your PIN, you just be back at square one, right? And Zana also says, I've seen in dramas you withdraw money from the ATM using a bank book as well. Do they still have bank books? We don't have any. I used to have it, but not anymore. Have you got a bank book?
I do.
Yeah, so do I. It does seem, from a British point of view, to be old-fashioned. Like, I used to have one when I was like 11, I think. And now you don't get bank books unless you request one. But here in Korea, it's sometimes important for certain transactions, I've found.
Right. I've never actually had to use it, but I have one. They give you one when you open an account.
Yeah, and the great thing about the ATM here, if you like the bank book, you can feed it into another slot and it'll print out all your transactions if you like a paper copy. And I need it when I want to do something in the bank, like a big amount they'll ask for my bank book. But if you forget it, you can print a new one off for a small fee as well. It's not a big deal.
Wow, very cool. Yeah, Fa says, looking at the ATM machine, it already looks so different from the ones here in Malaysia. Yes, it looks different from the States as well. Very touchscreen heavy here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've still got the old school ones in the UK. I think most have gone touchscreen, but a lot of them still have the buttons along the side of the screen that you push
Yeah.
corresponding to the text. And here in Korea, yeah, they look a bit more modern because they've got like one screen placed like vertically and then one horizontally, and you can kind of push on both screens, I believe, to a certain extent. Noor saying, I've never checked how many languages our ATMs have, but I'm sure they do have English and Malay. Yeah, if you're living in that country, you probably wouldn't try out another language just
Right.
for fun.
Yeah, and Siska says, yes, here the cash is out first and then your card. And one time when she was in Korea, she left her card and she didn't know where her brain was. Luckily, there was an ajashi who took my card and was waiting for me to give back my card. As a matter of fact, I don't know if that was in Korea, Cisco, or if that was in Malaysia. But either way, that ajashi for the
Nice.
win.
High
Yeah,
five
awesome.
to him.
In America, he would have just taken the card.
It's been long gone. We're going to get on to your second video, Cedric. What are we going to see here?
Yeah, so I'm going to show you guys how to do online banking using the bank app.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Alright guys, I'm going to show you how to do online banking here in Korea. On my phone, I'm going to go to the bank app, which is this, and the first thing that you'll see is the sign-in page. Now here in Korea, there are two different ways to typically sign in. One is through an ID and password, and another is through what's known as a digital certificate, which is a security measure on your phone to be able to transfer money as well. So we're going to sign in with my digital certificate and choose a certificate which is on the phone. I'm gonna put in my password. Okay, now we are signed in, and as you can see, I have two different accounts. Now what I'm gonna show you guys today is how to transfer money from one bank account to
I don't
another.
wanna show you guys how much money I don't
I'm gonna go to domestic transfer. We're gonna hit transfer and pick the withdrawal account that we're transferring the money from. Now, I'm gonna have to put in my PIN number
With all the numbers kind
and
of
the amount
mashed
that I
up,
want to
not in
transfer.
order.
So
right?
I'm gonna
Right.
transfer 5,000.
It's a security measure.
So
I
I'm
believe.
gonna send it to my other bank account with another institution.
Sounds like money
All right,
laundering to
so
me.
I'm gonna hit next.
I
In
have
order for me to
tons of secret
transfer, I
accounts.
have to use another security
another
card that
thing
I have
unique
in
to
physical
Korea.
format. I'm gonna put
You've
that
got
in.
one of those cards still. I
Hit next.
see.
Maybe
Now,
I'm still old school
put in
here.
my certificate password. That's the thing about these Korean banks. The security measures and the hoops that you have to jump through to be able to do any transaction is insane. All right, and it is confirmed I sent the money. And as you could see, I had the notification from my other bank pop up saying that I received the 5,001.
As a text
So that's how
message.
easy
Yeah.
and convenient it is to do online banking in Korea.
You're right. There do seem to be more security steps here. Like, I often say, Korea's a safe country. We talk about leaving your laptop in a cafe and going to the toilet for even hours and it would still be there. But for the banking, for some reason, they are extra careful, I feel.
Right. And I think you have to be. The thing is, it's very frustrating for the user, at least for me, when I have to like put in all these little security passwords and use the little card, the physical card that I still have. But at the same time, it protects you.
Yeah.
I've never had an issue here with anyone trying to hack into my account.
No, me neither, because I think it is almost foolproof, the devices they have in place security-wise. Like you saw, you need a digital certificate on your phone or your laptop or whatever device you're using for online banking. That I find difficult. Did you set it up all by yourself on your phone?
I did, because through the app, you can actually do that.
Okay,
well, at least with my
links
bank.
And stuff.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And it's all in English as well.
It's in English, yeah.
That's brilliant. So I don't want to hear that because I make my wife do it and it's convenient for me. And she gets stressed out doing that because it's a lot of like installing of like sub apps and these certificates linked to it.
Yeah, it's a lot, to be honest.
Once it's on there, the thing that you have, that security number card, it was replaced. I think you can still have that card if you want, but there's also this little digital device and you push a button and it will just flash up with a number.
Yeah, I've seen one of those. I'd like to have it, but I think the card is okay because I could just chuck it in my wallet instead of carrying that extra little device.
And the bank doesn't advise you to do this, but you can also take a photo. That's what I did before. And then if I haven't taken the card, it's on my phone album. But now that I've got a phone with like fingerprint recognition or iris recognition, I don't even need that. Like now, if you put in your biometrics, that is enough. To transfer money. And Korean people, I don't know compared to the US or if this is just my case in Britain, they seem to transfer money a lot more frequently. Like even if you have a meal and you're like, let's split the bill and you don't have the cash, you're like, okay, just wire it to me on your phone because it's so quick and easy. That's how you do it, right? We're going to listen to another song, a request from Jay in Korea. We'll talk more about banks in your countries, loads of messages and some photo posts coming in. This is Love Me or Leave Me from Day 6. K-Patch with Cedric in the studio showing us all about banking here in Korea. And rather than going into the branch, which can be a bit tricky in terms of filming, I suppose, other customers and the employees, we've showed you the ATM machine, which is where you do a lot of your business, or online as well. The younger generation rarely go into the bank, I believe, maybe to set up the account, and that could be it, right?
Right.
A lot of older people often in there, and I've seen they've usually got a security member standing at the front, like a security guard with a gun even. It doesn't look scary because I don't think they ever use them, but they'll often help like older people. They'll say, what do you need to do? And the older person will say, I just need to deposit some money, which you can do at the ATM as well. And then they'll take them and they'll guide them through the steps, which is nice and helpful. Lots and lots of messages coming in from listeners for today's topic, Cedric.
That's amazing. Siska says, anyway, the big Korean banks in Indonesia is the big S bank and the big K Korean bank. There are lots here in Jakarta, at least.
Wow, really? So Korean banks big in other countries as well?
Yeah, and there are a few Korean banks in the States as well, because I lived in K-Town. So there are a couple of banks. Some of the banks that are here that I've noticed are in the States, in New Jersey and New York City.
Oh, I see. Fantastic. Demi Han on VLive saying, so easier to deal with online banking maybe overseas than Korea. OMG. In terms of the security steps from my British banking experience, which I still do online, yes, I would say that. Although in the UK, we have this thing called OTP, a one-time passcode. So if you don't have your phone and you're doing it on your laptop, you can't do the banking because it will send you a text message and you need to type in a code.
Right.
In Korea, I've not seen that too often for regular transfers, I don't think.
Right. Yeah. And right along those lines, Noor says, do you have this confirmation TAC number if you do online transfers? Because we do. And I had to just confirm and look it up, but I believe TAC is Transaction Authorization Code, which is the code that is sent to your phone, as you mentioned. And so at least with my bank, I do with most transactions. I'll need to press a button. It'll send a code, text message to my phone, and I'll put that in.
I see. Okay.
Just to make sure I'm the one who is doing the transfer, not someone else.
Yeah, we have a lot of authentication linked to our phone number here. Like you can prove your identity by putting in your name and then your phone number. And if it matches up with the account records of the telecommunications company, you can then proceed with registering for certain sites and stuff like that. Yana says, yeah, I think the banks are kind of similar here. In my experience, I have more ATM experience than with the banks. And I do hope that Korea will adopt things like PayPal, because it's very hard when I need to transfer money to a bank in Korea. Yeah, those kind of services not really available, I believe, yet in Korea.
Right. Well, actually, with the big K Korean bank, there is a link with the big P company.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that's one of the ways that I can transfer money home.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
through
which
that
is
service.
really cool. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, but it's not common at all. Yeah, Yana says, interesting thing is that I never lined up for the ATM in Korea. It's always with no people, whether it's in the city or rural areas, probably because there's a lot of ATMs in Korea.
There's a lot of banks on the high street, and you're right, lots of ATMs. Not usually, like in the UK, you'll often find an ATM in the wall outside, and maybe one or two inside. But in Korea, usually they'll have a separate indoor section with maybe 4 or 5 ATMs, and then the bank behind that as well.
Right.
And so you can go in there for a bit of respite from the weather as well, not standing on the street doing your banking.
Absolutely.
Unita also said, I remember using the credit card to buy something in Korea, really easy and straightforward. All you need to do is just swipe it. Here we need our PIN or signature for each transaction. Yeah, in Korea as well, usually signature, but I think it's for anything over 50,000 won. Otherwise, a lot of the time, you don't even need to sign, right? It's just
wow, I didn't
pay
even notice that. Yeah.
and go for it. And PIN number, I've never had to put that in doing a transaction, like at a store.
Right. Yeah, that reminds me in the States, we had to, when using your debit card, which is different from your credit card, you would have to put in your PIN usually.
Yeah, in the UK they introduced it. It was called chip and pin. And so when I came here, I thought, oh, that's a little bit more lax in terms of security. And to be honest, sometimes they don't even check the signature.
No.
Like, there's not much card fraud here. I've used my mum's card on multiple occasions and vice versa. No one bats an eyelid that it says some lady's name in Korean and I'm just paying in English. That is a trust level that hopefully we can keep here in Korea. Yeah, it would be nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Kevin says, the app for my credit union has the option of a fingerprint sign-in in addition to the password.
Yeah, with that technology, I hope it becomes easier because I always forget passwords for sites and stuff like that. For banking as well, I got a couple of PIN numbers. Usually in Korea, you have a 4-digit one and a 6-digit one for like other transactions. But with just biometrics, then I would have to forget all of them and I could live a nice, simple life. That would be good. We got lots of stuff from our listeners in terms of banks in your country as well. Raul has sent this in from Argentina, saying the first photo, this is Argentina's national bank. The public bank here is the most important, Banco de la Nación Argentina. Here in Korea, there are a few banks that are really popular. There are quite a few. So I don't think there's like one that you could say stands head and shoulders above the rest.
Right. Not that I've noticed.
Yeah.
And that is a massive line, by the way.
You don't see like queuing up for banks in Korea like very often.
No, but when you go inside, sometimes there is a long wait that I've experienced a few times that I've gone in.
You need to get a little ticket number. And then you can just take a nice seat and enjoy the free water or something like that. Raul's second photo is various different private banks here in Argentina. Oh, is that Santander? That's also big in the UK as well as HSBC. But like we said, here in Korea, it's mostly the Korean domestic banks, right?
Right.
And the third photo you show us is the Central Bank of Argentina. Oh, a very impressive building there.
That looks like just a castle or someone's house.
I'd
like
need to be a millionaire
house.
to bank there, I'd assume. I think we have a Korea bank building down in Chongno as well, which looks a little bit like that. If I'm not mistaken, it's in a building that was there from like colonial times with Japanese influence. We've also got something from Faz in Malaysia. You say this is the building of Malaysia's central bank, the policymaker and governor of banking and financial services in the country. Looks quite impressive as well. Lovely. And then we've also got the headquarters of the premier banking company here, Maybank. That's massive.
That looks like it's standing above everything.
It looks like a rocket as well. Why is that so big in comparison to all other buildings there? And then the last one you say is the HQ of the next biggest bank after the aforementioned Maybank. That's CIMB. All of them located in the heart of the capital city, Kuala Lumpur. I'm trying to think, like, each city in the world usually has like a banking district. You know, in the UK, we've got somewhere called Canary Wharf, which is all financial. Here in Seoul, I know Terando is quite a financial hub, but I wouldn't say there's just one place for banks being famous in Seoul.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if there is a quote unquote financial district
Yeah.
specifically.
I've heard Yoido has a lot of finance companies as
Yeah.
well, but it seems like it's spread between different districts, which I guess is a good idea. Siska also has a video saying these are the two biggest bank chains in Indonesia, which I am personally am a customer of. I also use online banking and mobile app banking. It looks a lot more like the UK than Korea, I'd say. Lots of standing here and there. That's one thing I love about Korean banks. When you see the teller, there's a seat there for you.
That's
and you
true.
can sit down.
That is true.
Is that the same in the States, or do you stand
yeah,
usually?
so in the States, you usually have your tellers who will do the transactions for you. You
Yeah.
stand. But then if you need to do personal banking, then you can sit down with a personal banker.
Something that's going to take a little more time.
Yeah.
Yeah, here in Korea, it's just seating for all things. So I love that you can be kind of relaxed. I can look on my phone while they're doing my banking business. And then there's a little pin machine there that you can type in as well. Banking in your country. Thanks for letting us know, listeners, what banking is like for you guys. And I hope we've given a good picture of banking here. Would you say that you're used to banking now, Cedric, in Korea?
Yeah, I think so. With everything that I need to do, I'm pretty much acclimated to all the transactions and the things that I have to do. So yeah, I'm pretty used
Anything
to
you
it.
prefer about back in the States compared to here, or you're pretty happy with everything?
I'm pretty happy generally, but I would like less hoops to jump through. It'd be nice, but I understand why they're there.
With the online payments, yeah. I
Yeah.
think if you can get biometrics set up on your phone, then it becomes a whole lot easier.
Sure.
Yeah. We're going to see you again next week for another topic. And listeners out there, suggest anything you'd like Cedric to film. I'm sure he'd be up for it. Stay safe in the rain today,
Thank
Cedric.
you.
All
We'll
right.
see you guys next week.
Bye-bye. Time for some Bria song requests. This is from the US. You've asked for Fancy from Twice.